So here we are. This is episode 3
We're back.
of our podcast. We're back.
We're back. We made it. We're back.
We're back. Yeah, super like quick.
Yeah.
Rebound episode.
Yeah.
Hasn't taken 7 months to do another one.
No, absolutely not. No. We'll just pretend those 7 months didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just straight in.
We just jumped off straight off the last podcast.
Yeah. So if you listen to this, then if you're coming from episode 2, then we're straight into it.
We're back.
I'm Tom.
I'm Harry.
And today we are going to be discussing the future of the MCU and the current state of things over at Marvel.
Yes.
So settle down for a lovely little episode, all you Marvel fans.
Get your cheddars.
Get your cheddars.
Get your sandwiches. Get ready. Put your feet up. Have a nice little break. Not break.
Just a little rest, really.
Just a little rest.
Just a little sit down.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself and, listen to
Let's have a chat together.
Sultry sound of our voices.
Yes.
So I think it'd only be right to start with obviously the news, the sort of big news that Mr. Robert Downey Jr. is back as, well, I say he's back in the MCU, but he's playing Victor Von Doom, aka Doctor Doom.
How do you feel about that?
Honestly, mate, it's like a week on from that news, and I'm still kind of mixed on it. I'll be completely honest. I can see like the good kind of like side of it, but also there's like a part of me where I think like a lot of people, it's like, is this a good move? Is this a bit like, I don't know if like desperate, is sort of the right way to say it, but like, I can kind of see it from both sides. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, initially, my initial reaction was, because it had been rumoured quite a few days prior to last Saturday, I initially was like, when I saw the rumours, I was like, oh, that would be quite interesting if they did that, but I thought I don't know if they'd go down that route. And then it got announced, and I was a bit like, I was kind of in the middle. I was more for it than against it, but a part of me, I think I was just kind of blindsided because I just didn't see it coming at all. But I've given it some thought, and I've kind of come to the conclusion that I actually think it's quite genius.
Yeah.
I believe it's been confirmed, or there's certainly speculation that this version of Victor is from the Fantastic Four universe, which, as we know for their film, they will be a part of a different universe, which I presume at the end of the film they'll kind of come into the MCU.
Yeah, I think they'll set it up.
Which I think is probably why, or where Victor will probably come from. I know the director of that film has said, he's basically said he can't tell us if Doctor Doom is in that film.
I think he'll be a post-credit scene.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think they'll definitely, because I don't think I think it's it's not just a coincidence that they've announced Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom literally like a few days before they start filming it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he's definitely going to be in it in some way. I think it'll be a post-credit scene, maybe even like a bit like in Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy. He might even just have like one scene,
an actual scene in the film,
like just randomly halfway through, just to be like, oh, here he is.
It would even make quite a cool ending actually if it was just like maybe the Fantastic Four come into the MCU and then you find out at the end of the film, they've accidentally brought Doctor Doom with them.
Guess who's snuck in with us? That little scamp. He's followed us.
He was hiding in the boot the whole time.
In the Fantastic car.
In the Fantastic car, yeah. So
like Sideshow Bob, when he's under the under the bottom of the car.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think it's kind of genius because from the Avengers' point of view and the heroes of the MCU, as soon as they see him, they're going to be like, you're Tony Stark, and he's going to be like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to really mess with them. Spider-Man in particular. Yeah. I just think it's kind of genius. And also, like, one thing I will confidently say is we know that he's an incredible actor, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
So regardless of what you think about him as the character, we're going to get a good performance out of it.
100%. Yeah, like, there's no doubt in my mind he'll play the role well.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, as much as I'm sort of like, is it the right move? But like, I can totally see where, like you say, he's from their universe, so he's not necessarily like the MCU's Doctor Doom. I still think that we'll get like the MCU Doctor Doom will be someone else. Like I'd say a Cillian Murphy.
That would be interesting. Well, or
Cillian Murphy.
Let's go on to this theory then. There is the idea that Robert Downey Jr. will only play Doctor Doom in Doomsday, and that for Secret Wars there will be another version,
definitive,
the definitive,
like sort of quote unquote definitive.
Which I think
Doom.
in the comics, I don't know if he's called. I want to say King Doom. I don't know if that's what he's called, but he has like a white costume.
God Doom,
God Doom or something.
Yeah, there's like there's the newer Secret Wars, which I definitely recommend. Like if you haven't read it, but yeah, I wonder it's where they kind of merge the Ultimate and the 616 universes together.
That's it.
To kind of just create just a definitive universe. So I wonder if that's what they're going to do with this Secret Wars, kind of maybe do some of the... I wonder if they might, with Secret Wars, I think they might take, some of the elements from the original story, like Spidey getting the black suit, and then maybe also do some of the stuff from the newer version as well, kind of merge it, take the sort of the best bits from both different stories.
That would be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be wicked.
But the Avengers Doomsday, I think will probably, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom will be the main villain of that, but I think there will be other Dooms in that.
Yeah.
And I think by the end of that movie, which will lead us into Secret Wars, maybe, we'll get to see who that other Doom is.
Can I just read you something I read yesterday?
You certainly can.
Off goodcomicbookmovie.com.
Okay, yeah.
Always a cracking website.
Reliable source.
Yes, absolutely. So there was a report from Twitter where it's just a potential theory or a supposed leak about what his part in Doomsday will be, and I just thought this was quite interesting. So I'm just going to get your live reactions. Okay. So in the film, Doom isn't truly evil. He believes he's saving the multiverse from incursions. According to his twisted logic, the only way for the multiverse to survive is to unify all the universes in one place, in brackets Battleworld, under his rule. He sees this as the sole path to ensuring survival for everyone. So he kind of likes the idea of, rather than all these universes being pruned or being destroyed, put every universe under one bracket, under one place, and then everybody can live
in
peacefully,
simple harmony
under his rule. How would you? So it would almost be like he would become the king of this entire galaxy, basically. How would you feel if that was? So he's not evil. He just wants almost like we might be getting like a sympathetic Doom where he just wants people to live in, as you say, harmony.
Yeah, he was a fine young Doctor Doom. Little IT crowd reference for you there. I think I mean that kind of sounds almost a bit like Thanos' kind of motivations, where he's similar. Again, in his mind, he's
right.
He's right. Yeah, I mean that's they always say every villain is the hero of their own story. So yeah, I mean obviously I totally get that he would kind of think of himself as doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, I'm totally down. Marvel clearly have a plan, so I'm happy to go with what they think is best.
Yeah, and we've got the Russo brothers back, so
yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, the Russo brothers.
Yeah,
I mean their record is like what four bangers.
Yeah,
4-0. So they're absolutely killing it. So
there's a reason that the 4 films they've made are
considered the best.
Some of the MCU's best.
Yeah, not just even the MCU's best, but some of the best comic book movies in general. I still stand by that Civil War is like one of the greatest comic book films. 100%.
Period.
Yeah, I agree.
Ever. Phenomenal.
That might even be my favourite MCU movie, possibly.
It's up there for me. Yeah,
it's certainly
top 3, definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely top 3 for me.
Big fan of that film.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's kind of Doctor Doom. I guess we'll kind of see that. Also, not that long away. 2020, May 2026.
It's Doomsday, and I say Fantastic Four next year.
Literally next year. So this is all very recent.
He's gonna be popping up relatively soon. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Very excited for that.
I'm just glad they're finally doing Doctor Doom. To be honest,
isn't that the crazy thing? Because I don't know if you want to get into the Kang thing. I don't know if you want
to
delve into something else. But that's kind of
it's Marvel, mate. It's Marvel.
Absolutely. Let's cover
That's the name of the show.
That's
name of the topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're still working on the name for the show.
Working on the name.
But the Marvel, the whole Kang thing. I mean, they didn't necessarily really address that directly. They just kind of shifted slightly that they're doing Doom.
Yeah.
I know you have yet to watch Loki season 2. Get on that.
I will.
When you delve into that, you'll kind of see that they do wrap up Kang's story. So theoretically, that was almost like a backdoor for them to be like, if we don't end up bringing him back, we've kind of dealt with it.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there is a way that he can get out of how they've left it.
Okay.
How do you feel about him just not being around anymore? Not necessarily the actor, but the character.
Yeah, I'll be honest. And again, I'm not. This isn't anything against Jonathan Majors, because I think it's you can only kind of with actors they can only go with kind of how they're directed or work with what they're being written. I'll be honest. I've never really been a massive fan of Kang in the MCU. I've never seen him as a particularly imposing threat. I haven't seen I haven't kind of looked at him and thought, oh, he's definitely the new Thanos or whatever. And yeah, I don't know, it's just something off. Like, he's just, for me, it was just a character that, I mean, he looked really cool, but he was just kind of like quirky for the sake of being quirky. He's all sort of a bit zany and a bit weird.
Yeah.
And I never really found him intimidating. And I know a lot of people said, oh, well, Ant-Man kicked his ass. And it's like,
it's a fair point.
No disrespect to Ant-Man, but yeah, I mean, exactly that. Like, it's difficult to see someone as a big threat when, and it wasn't even like Ant-Man, it was Ant-Man, and again, it was just Ant-Man on his own, and it wasn't even like it was just basically like it's just like a sort of a punch-up, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's one of those things they kept sort of saying, wait till you see the ultimate version of Kang, and I just think the versions we did see, out of the two, I kind of prefer He Who Remains. I think he's a more interesting character.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to Loki season 2, he's kind of a bigger part of
Yeah.
that, or that version, or that. You see Jonathan Majors more. He plays another version of Kang without spoiling it.
Okay.
And that version is more interesting, I think, than the version we get in Ant-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's again, it's like the thing of like, oh well, you know, there's all these different variants of Kang, and again, it's that kind of in a way took away from it because it's like, well,
what makes this one special?
Yeah, so what makes this one special, and rather than just having like one, say there's only one Ultron, there's only one, not to keep saying Thanos, but there's only one Thanos.
Yeah.
Like he didn't need to have all these variants, because it's like it makes him think, oh well, if you just kill one, there'll be another one, but then it's like, do you know what I mean? It's just like so.
Yeah.
It just I get that, that was supposed to be sort of a like a selling factor for him, but to me it just I never really was that invested in the characters, to be honest.
No, I think it is a shame. There's an interview with him actually from the other day. I think it's like TMZ.
I saw that TMZ, yeah.
And I feel for him.
I do. I totally do.
I do feel really bad for him.
Yeah, he's genuinely
He
really
disappointed, doesn't
he?
He's
super heartbroken.
As he
and,
says,
yeah. So as
it's
I say,
a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. As that, it's a massive waste for everyone. It's obviously unfortunate for Marvel fans.
It's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, well,
it's a tricky situation.
Isn't it? So yeah.
But I like the idea that maybe one day they can find a way to bring him back. Because I would, if they bring him back, I'm 100% open for that. And I would be excited for it.
100%.
But, I think for the story they want to tell with Secret Wars, which was always the plan anyway after the Kang dynasty, or dynasty.
Dynasty, yeah.
Was I right the first time?
Yeah, whatever.
I like the idea that it makes more sense for it to be Doom, because
Yeah.
that felt more like a natural build-up to Secret Wars, it being Doom. So, plus also I think Doom needs some cinematic rescuing, I think, because his past appearances haven't been great.
Yeah, although I did like him in, it may be a hot take, but I did like him in those first two Fantastic Four films.
Definitely a hot take.
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
Those films are phenomenal. I love the films.
I love those films.
I just don't like the performance.
Yeah,
costume's good though.
Yeah, it looked fucking great. I think he definitely should have been more intimidating. Or
just intimidating full stop.
Yeah, intimidating full stop.
He's just like a wet nappy, basically.
Yeah,
his performance.
Yeah, like he's it's a bit like almost like a Tommy Lee Jones in Batman Forever. Like didn't really understand the character.
No,
and didn't really But yeah, as I say, I'm just glad he's we're getting another crack at him. I don't know, do you know what? Fan Forsic, I will watch it again. I've literally, the only time I've only seen it once, that was literally when it came out and we saw it at the cinema. I've owned the DVD of it for like
10 years ago this year it came out.
Was it? I thought it was 2015.
That's a good point. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
9 years. Yep.
I know. I'm such a
no, it's good.
Such a nerd for these things. But yeah, basically 9 years, and I think it's still in its fucking like cellophane, like wrapping. I haven't even opened it. Yeah. But I do want to watch it again though.
I remember very distinctively, and I've only done this a few times, watching it at the cinema, and it sounds cliche, but I promise this is true. I remember being on the edge of my seat, literally at the end, in that fight scene at the end, and I remember just coming out of it, and I was buzzing. It was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I rewatched it Monday night, or a few nights ago. It's shit. It's not as good as I remember it being. It's really not.
It's one of those things that when it comes, when it's like a new film's come out, it's easy to get swept up in the hype.
It is, yeah. And watching it on a big screen, I think, just adds to that. You kind
definitely.
as you say, it's part of that experience.
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, but then it's like as soon as you kind of step away and think about it,
you watch it on TV, and it's not the same.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I haven't watched it, as I say, since it came out, and so and I'll be honest, I didn't come away hating it. I didn't think this was an absolute train wreck. Like I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
So
there's still good bits in it.
Oh yeah,
Michael B. Jordan's very good, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought he was a great choice to be the Human Torch. So I do want to rewatch it.
Give it another go.
Just sort of on the subject of like sort of, I guess, like missed opportunities or sort of lackluster projects. I thought Marvel's appearance at San Diego Comic-Con, I thought it was a bit of a, I don't know, like overall I think it was a bit disappointing. Like there was nothing about Blade. We still no news about that. Like,
isn't that surprising?
That's crazy. So a lot of people, I don't blame them. A lot of people are saying that they think the project might have sort of secretly been cancelled.
Don't think there's interviews with Kevin Feige talking about promoting Deadpool and Wolverine, and he said that they're still working on it. They're just getting the script. But it is crazy that then they've had actors drop out, and he's still attached to it, Mahershala Ali, but I don't know. It's just crazy they can't get a good script.
I just
But then these things, Rome wasn't built in a day. These things take time.
But it's just like was it like 5 years ago they announced it?
5 years ago this year.
And I just think I get movies take time and they want to get it right, but honestly, how fucking hard is it to write a Blade movie? Especially in the MCU, like it's not like it's not like you're limited by the characters you can use either.
But I think the success of Deadpool being R-rated has helped them. Yeah, hopefully, because it will hopefully maybe make them feel more confident in their writing. That they can be like, okay, audiences do want this, and Disney, Marvel can do that.
Yeah, 100%.
So
So I mean, I was disappointed by that. I was hoping for an update on Daredevil, Born Again.
Wow, we have got next week, I believe, D23.
Oh, okay.
And they're saving all the TV stuff for D23.
Right, okay. So that makes sense.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a trailer.
Okay, fine. That makes sense. So in a way, that maybe kind of explains maybe why they didn't announce so much stuff. Because as I say, I thought we would have got some sort of an X-Men update as well.
I would have loved that.
Just not even necessarily like an announcement, or or maybe, but I suppose maybe an announcement just to say like
we're doing it.
We are doing the X-Men.
Yeah, they are coming.
This is what's coming, or just something, just something, a little tease or something.
Especially off the back of Deadpool and Wolverine and X-Men 97 as well.
Yeah, because I mean, it was cool to see stuff about like Thunderbolts and Captain America, which that fucking first trailer looks awesome.
It's wicked, doesn't it? Very excited for that film.
Little plug. I did do a little reaction to that, so I'll link that at this point. So if you want to give that a cheeky watch. But yeah, so I mean, it's cool to see that, and I'm glad Harrison Ford came out because it's always with him. He's kind of got this like track record of not being that not wanting to. Yeah. So he doesn't almost like he gets almost embarrassed to like be into his movies so much, like things like Star Wars.
Watch him promote anything Star Wars related. He doesn't give a shit, does he?
Yeah, he literally. If you want to see like someone who's a perfect example of someone who just he's just someone forced into doing press. Go and watch any Harrison Ford interview for Star Wars. Like he doesn't care. He does not give a shit, that man.
He seems genuinely excited about this.
He seems and he was coming out. He was sort of doing his Hulk impressions and stuff. So he looks like he's had a lot of fun. Yeah. And to be fair, as he's gotten older, I think he's just sort of
warmed to it more.
And he's kind of definitely just got into. He sort of I think he appreciates that a lot of these roles are what's made his career basically. So
and it means so much to certain people.
Yeah, so it's like so God bless him.
He's a diamond.
Yeah,
but no. Beyond that, there wasn't much apart from the Doctor Doom thing. That was the biggest reveal.
That was the big thing.
And there was just nothing beyond that. So hopefully we get something at D23.
Yeah,
I know that Marvel themselves can't announce this, but I'm still waiting on something on Spider-Man 4.
That was the other thing. I'm really surprised we didn't get an update on that. But as you say, if D23 is right around the corner, we'll hopefully get something there.
It's something that only Sony can discuss. Marvel aren't actually legally allowed to talk about it. However, I wouldn't be surprised because there's nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony are like, you're fine to go ahead. I don't know how that.
Well, it'd just be nice to know maybe like a title, and then maybe if they've announced a director, just even like that would be fine. Do you know what I mean? Just so we know that because. I honestly baffles me that we're like almost where are we now?
2021 it came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, so December. We're almost 3 years removed from No Way Home, and we've got no real updates on a fourth movie. I know this is just me thinking this. It's just so it's not like nothing was ever announced or hinted at, but I'm really surprised that they didn't kind of capitalize on that success and announce something with Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield like a follow up because. They're all up, they're both up for it. Sam Raimi's he's literally like him and Tobey Maguire have both said on separate occasions we're ready to go whenever.
Yeah.
They want to do Spider-Man 4.
It baffles me so the amount of the fact that the multiverse thing is becoming a bit much at the minute.
Oh yeah, I'm a bit sick.
However, I say that if they were to announce Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire and The Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield, I promise you it would sell out before tickets even go on sale.
Yeah,
that would just be because the amount of nostalgia both of those franchises have for many people alone. Like the Tobey Maguire films were like of the time they were the films to go and see.
Yeah, 100%.
To continue making to make another one, a follow up with a lead actor that can still do it, and you've still got Rosemary Harris. Bring her in.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it the film that so many people have wanted for. Since 2007.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is as well, is like, I mean, we were both, I mean, I was like I was about 7 years old when the first movie came out.
Yeah, it was what, 2002.
2002.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, I that is just perfect fucking age to go and like experience Spider-Man on the big screen for the first time. And that, and not to sound dramatic or over the top, but like a lot of people, when they saw that film for the first time, it fucking changed my life. Like legitimately, I'm not like just saying that just to be like, like over dramatic or whatever, but it really did absolutely change my life. And all those movies just mean so much to me. The Amazing Spider-Man movies are my personal favourite movies.
Yeah.
And I will defend The Amazing Spider-Man 2 till my dying breath.
We'll both defend it.
Yeah. I know it's a hot take, but I don't care. I think that movie's fucking perfect.
That's a subject for a different.
Yeah. That's a whole thing. Is. That's a whole thing for another time. But
I think it's definitive Spider-Man at its peak.
It really is.
It is.
But and I know Sony, their whole kind of plan for Spider-Man, like all these spin-off movies we've been getting. I know they're hit and miss, to put it politely.
Mainly miss. Yep.
But I was genuinely like really up for their plans. But like 10 years ago, we were going to be getting like the Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 4. Venom was going to be part of that universe as well. I was fucking like so excited for all of that. Basically, a self-contained Spider-Man cinematic universe.
The Aunt May film.
yeah, the Aunt May like origin spy
Shield
thriller
agent thing. Yeah.
Like, why not? Fuck it,
Let's do it.
Yeah,
but only if it was Sally Field.
Yeah, that's it.
Or Rosemary Harris. That'd have been better.
I'd fucking I'd love to see that. I just did like flips and shit.
Flips and shit over buildings.
Yeah. But I was all up for that. And then obviously that didn't happen. So I know there's so many fans of both franchises out there that just want to see a continuation. So I would be all on board for that. And then again, I would still love to see some sort of a Spider-Man film. But what I think would be cool is obviously the comic is Peter meeting Miles for the first time.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could do maybe like a Toby and Andrew team up film.
Oh my god.
And maybe introduce Miles in that film.
Oh my god.
So if you want to keep Tom Holland separate for the MCU, you could do Andrew and Toby team up again.
Yeah.
But then they also meet Miles. Maybe Miles is part of, because I personally think he would fit better in Andrew's world.
I think so. Yeah.
Like a lot. I mean, like the Tom Hardy Venom films, I think would fit better in Andrew's world as well.
Yeah. Same with Morbius, actually.
Morbius, yeah, I think all. Yeah, I just think, because his movies, they have that kind of. I think they kind of have the tendency to go a bit darker.
Yeah,
and they suit that kind of tone. But yeah, like I personally think that would be great. Like an Andrew and Toby film where they team up, and then they have they come across Miles, and they're both like his mentors. Yeah. Which I think would be really cool.
Who would you have as a villain in that team up film? Because I'd love the idea of the Spider-Men teaming up and fighting the Sinister Six, but we've kind of already had that.
Yeah, we've kind of had that.
Which is a mad sentence to say.
I would love to see someone like. So I know we've already had Mysterio, but I was thinking was it Shattered Dimensions?
Yeah.
He was the villain of that.
Yeah.
Like imagine like a sort of a cool, kind of like Mysterio is like the overall villain, but maybe they get transported to different worlds, kind of almost like a Shattered Dimensions type thing.
Oh my!
So they have one, maybe Andrew gets sent to like a jungle world, where he's got to fight Craven.
Craven, yeah,
which could be Aaron Taylor Johnson,
yeah.
Craven. Maybe Toby gets sent to like another, what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like that kind of a thing. I think would be cool.
In the game, there is, I think it's the Ultimate Spider-Man. He ends up in like this kind of big oil rig thing.
Yeah,
that's run by Deadpool.
Oh shit! Yeah, because he's doing a TV show,
TV series.
Yeah.
Bring in Ryan Reynolds. That'd be great.
Oh mate, that would be that'd be so good. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm sure they could work that out.
Yeah, they could do something with that, couldn't they? But no, I think Miles Morales, also age-wise, would probably work better with Andrew.
Yeah, I think so.
It legitimately baffles me that just isn't really. I mean, I wouldn't be. They might have considered it, but it's baffled me that we've not had an announcement, or there's not been any sort of heavy rumours to suggest that is what Marvel are going to be doing.
Yeah, or even Sony.
Even Sony, yeah.
I just think that was just such a fucking absolute behemoth at the box office, like No Way Home. It was literally like a license to print money.
Yeah.
And the fact that neither Sony or Marvel have announced anything, it's just weird. Like, I mean, I don't like kind of just obvious desperate cash grabs where something's popular and you get all these spin-offs announced just to capitalize on and take advantage of that. Like, I hate it when companies do that. But that would be a an exception to that rule. Like, oh, if they announce Spider-Man 4, Amazing Spider-Man 3, as you say, or whatever, just fucking sign me up. Like, hell yeah. Or even just like, again, like a team up movie, as I said. But
it's something I know. There's also now been rumors that Sam Raimi is being looked at to direct the Tom Holland Spider-Man 4 film.
Yeah.
Which I think would be incredible, because I know they want to sort of get away from the John Watts thing, which I think would be. I think it's about time they get a shift in director.
Yeah.
For just an overall tonal shift for those films.
Yeah, I kind of feel, in a way, I feel bad for Tom Holland, because I think he's a really good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But there's just something about his trilogy of films that, like, they're good. They're good films. Like I say, Homecoming's a really solid Spider-Man film, and Far From Home. For ages I hated it, and then each time I rewatch it, I kind of appreciate it more.
Yeah.
But there's just something, I don't know. There's just something about those movies overall that I don't know. They're just, I don't know. It's like they're never ones that I kind of rush to rewatch. I'm always more interested in watching the other films.
The other ones, I'm exactly the same. I would say the strongest of those three, from a story perspective, is Homecoming. If you really think about the story, I think that's the strongest one.
Yeah. Sorry, No Way Home. Like, as great as it is, like the story is kind of weak.
It's not fantastic, yeah, and it does feel a little bit like
so stupid.
I mean, you can find plot holes that the people that know who Peter Parker is are the ones that come to fight him. Like, basically, the people that know who Peter Parker, or the people that know Peter Parker is Spider-Man, they're the ones that come through to kind of find him.
Yeah, like, why was Electro there? He never knew.
He never knew that.
He never knew Peter was Spider-Man.
That doesn't make sense.
That makes no sense. He literally finds out at the end of the movie. That's the whole thing about, I thought you were black. Like,
exactly.
That whole line, that sort of Miles tease. I'm sure there's a black Spider-Man here somewhere. Like, you never even. Just I was like, why are you there? Do you know what I mean?
And someone that did know who he was, Robbie Robinson. Why wasn't he in it?
Yeah.
Why didn't he turn up in No Way Home?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. That's just not the strongest film. So I always find myself wanting, if I want to watch a Spider-Man film with a good story, I do find myself going back to the Tobey or the Andrew films.
Yeah, and that's again, what the whole
purely because of the director, I think. Is and 100%. The writing,
yeah,
kind of where it's
and
at its strongest.
And again, just quickly, like the whole thing about like the multiverse gets fucked by Doctor Strange because Peter won't shut up.
Yeah, and I think that's Doctor Strange being arrogant, trying to prove to Wong that he can be the.
Yeah, it's him being arrogant, but it's also
it's just not brilliant. Is it?
And it's just like you literally could surely just cast a spell on Peter just to keep his mouth shut for like 5 seconds. I mean, literally just sew his mouth shut for like a sec. Just literally click your fingers or something.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that was all kind of played for laughs, but it's like it wasn't really that funny. And it's like, if you really think about it, it's just fucking stupid.
It's just very stupid. And the fact he just couldn't keep his mouth shut during the actual spell as well.
Yeah, like what the hell?
And again, like that's not. I don't know. It just doesn't. There's a lot of. I'm not criticising it because I love it. It's a phenomenal film and it's the best cinema experience I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Even now. But yeah, I just don't think it's the strongest. So no, I do feel bad for Tom Holland. I do think his best performance is in Civil War, even now. Yeah. And I think that's purely because of maybe the Russos.
Well, that's the thing. Like the team-up movies that Spider-Man's appeared in, like Infinity War and Endgame. I know he's only briefly in Endgame, but
yeah. He
just feels way more like Spider-Man in those movies than he does in his own movies, which is just really weird to me.
It's odd, isn't it?
As I say, that maybe it's just us that feel that way. I don't know what other people.
Yeah,
it's just our opinion, but there you are. But yeah, but I say, was there kind of anything else you wanted to touch on?
I was trying to think. I mean, we've got there is that leak going around of the Fantastic Four footage.
That's very true. Yeah, so
it
looks fucking awesome.
Very excited for it. Yeah, love the setting.
I love the set. Yeah, I love the setting. I love the idea of having like in this. So for those that haven't seen it, basically there was some leaked footage from San Diego Comic-Con of like their little sizzle reel thing they filmed. So basically they haven't. Well, they've officially they've started filming this week. Yeah, but they obviously filmed a few little bits. I guess for Comic-Con just to kind of showcase the kind of vibe they were going for.
Yeah.
So for those that don't want to know, if you haven't seen it, maybe it might spoil a few spoilers. So just to give you a warning, but basically, Mr. Fantastic is essentially like a sort of he's like a TV star kind of almost, but he has like a science show for kids.
Yeah.
And his kind of nickname in the show is Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
which I really love.
I love that. Yeah,
and he's obviously going to then kind of like a TV scientist that gets sent into space. So he's already got that's kind of why he's called Mr. Fantastic. I love the thing about the thing about the thing, being on this like dating show.
Yeah.
This kind of really kind of like wacky, almost like Blind Date.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. Remind me of that.
You know, like kind of type thing.
Yeah.
And then the whole vibe of it looks awesome.
It's that whole 60s vibe.
Yeah,
it just fits the fantastic. It's so interesting. Like it's such an interesting way to naturally, just from like a cinematography and like a visual point of view, aesthetic point of view. It's like it's such an interesting. Instantly, it's like one of my most anticipated films.
Yeah,
purely because of how unique it's going to be. And how 100%. Different it's going to look to anything else we've ever seen.
Yeah,
because there is the futuristic. I think you might have seen the kind of look of the city that we've got going on. It's very just futuristic and almost like Blade Runner-y kind of.
Yeah, it's a bit. It always reminded me a bit of Coruscant from Star Wars. It's a bit that kind of a vibe.
And there's also a Disney film. I think it's called it's got George Clooney in it. That doesn't really narrow it down, does it? I can't think what it's called, but it's set Tomorrowland. I think it's called.
Okay.
It's very very futuristic.
Right. Okay.
Or in 2007 there was a Disney film called Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah.
I think it was about 2017. I think 27. Sorry. That looked very futuristic and sort of it fit that setting very very well.
Right. Okay.
So I think that just as an aesthetic is quite interesting. You've also got Michael Giacchino who did the soundtrack for The Incredibles. He's doing the music for Fantastic Four,
which is again like
that's gonna just like feel amazing and
because this Incredibles has that great kind of 60s vibe to it anyway.
Yeah.
One thing it kind of reminded me of like I don't know if have you ever seen the Jetsons? It was like an old. It was like an old. It was like a sort of an old. I think it was like Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Okay.
Back in the day, like the 60s or something. But it's about basically like a futuristic family.
Right.
And it's very much like that. They have like a flying car and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And it's very much like that kind of a vibe. And it's obviously again like about a family. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Jetsons was a bit of a sort of an influence on this.
Yeah. Well, they've said the biggest feature of the film is the family aspect. That has to be the biggest.
Yeah. Which I kind of feel like every other Fantastic Four.
They've all said that.
They've all kind of said that. Like, oh yeah, we just really want to focus on the family dynamic. But I'd say
I have full confidence in in Marvel Studios.
Well up for this. So, and it's only next year.
Literally this time next year we'd have seen it.
Oh, fuck, that's very
exciting. That's crazy. But then just quickly, I liked the Fantastic car.
Yeah, that was cool
at the event.
That was cool.
And again, that looks quite cool. It's very futuristic looking. But then just quickly the actual look at Galactus, which
you got a quick look at Galactus.
He's not a cloud.
He's not a cloud this time, guys. He is an actual
being.
Which
he looks cool. Again, really cool. The footage isn't fantastic, and you only just see his eyes.
Yeah, it's very kind of it's obviously filmed on someone's phone. So if you have seen, I don't know if it's been taken down yet, but
it's probably still floating about somewhere.
Yeah,
I think a few places on Twitter have taken it down, but it's probably on YouTube.
But yeah, if you're interested, guys, definitely check it out because it's really cool.
It's worth a look. But yeah, that's kind of next year. I think that is my most anticipated event. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Like, I love the Fantastic Four,
and it's just about time that they're in the MCU.
100%. Yeah,
same with the X-Men.
I still think Phase 4 would have been a cool time to introduce him.
That'd be cool.
Just because of
the four.
Because of the four.
I see what you did there. I like that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do. That's what I do, mate.
I like it. Comedy.
It's good. I try. But yeah, is that anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what else there was. Film-wise, I think that was pretty much all of it. Or
pretty much it, I think. Yeah. I mean, I'd say that's yeah. I mean, this is just like our sort of big Marvel episode. I say we'll definitely do another one.
Yeah,
as and when more news comes out.
Initial thoughts, I guess, is coming out of San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, because there's like obviously just wanted to kind of discuss things sort of coming soon.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts, obviously, I'm interested.
I'm very excited about that. I have to say.
I'm interested in, but I'm not that pumped for it yet. I think I need a trailer to really see, because of the face of it, it's the team they've announced doesn't really excite me. They're all kind of apart from Bucky, and I mean I like Yelena Belova as well, but the rest of the characters I'm not really too fussed about, if I'm honest.
I'm a very big fan of Black Widow, the film. I love that film a lot.
Oh yeah.
Big fan of that. So this almost feels like not a direct sequel, but it will feel like a nice, given that a lot of the characters from that are in this, it will feel like a nice continuation.
Yeah.
I don't know, is Taskmaster in the film? Because I can't remember if she was. I don't think she was at Comic-Con, so I don't know.
No, she is going to be in it.
I think she's in it, isn't she?
Yeah.
No, I'm very intrigued by it. And I know Sentry's the villain, and that's kind of like a long-awaited character to.
Yeah, I'm interested in Sentry, and Red Hulk's going to be in this as well.
Yeah. I don't know actually.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. But yeah, as I say, we'll give it a go. I'll wait for a trailer. So we'll go from there. But
got that coming.
But yeah, so that was it, guys. As I say, we will come back to Marvel. Obviously, do another Marvel episode as sort of as
we'll do many more. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as when we get more news. But currently, as of the date of this, release, this video, this is kind of currently where we're at with Marvel. I think the MCU is definitely heading in the right direction again.
Definitely.
I'm actually starting to get excited about Marvel again now, which is cool.
Especially after Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which is fucking amazing.
I've seen it. As of recording, I've seen it 7 times. Going for my 8th tonight.
Yep. So
Very
Harry
excited.
clearly hates the movie.
Clearly not
everyone.
a fan of it.
But say if you want to see more of my thoughts, I will. Here's my spoiler review. I'll link it now. And yeah, so just want to say thanks so much for listening.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already.
Hope you have a nice afternoon. Unless you're listening to this at night, then I hope you sleep well.
Or if you watch it in the morning, have a great rest of your
wonderful
day.
day.
Yeah. And
we'll speak
anything
to
you want
next
to? Yeah, speak to you next time. Do you want any sort of plugs for you, Harry?
Watch Deadpool and Wolverine if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it,
What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Go and watch it.
If you have seen it, go and see it again.
Yeah, get off your ass. Check it out.
Go and see it. Good film.
And on that note, goodbye.
Bye.